Hi, this is Doug Mead with ExactTarget, and welcome to the screencast showing how to add MyBuy's product recommendations to your emails. We'll take a look at how a user would actually do this, a look at the finished product, and real briefly talk about the technology behind the solution. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to go over to the content area of the ExactTarget application where we build all of our emails. And I have an email here that I want to add some MyBuy's products to. You can see it's a birthday email. Happy birthday, Doug. Here's a coupon. And I want to inspire them with ways to redeem that coupon by dropping in some MyBuy's product recommendations right here. To do that, I just browse my content library, and there's a button right down here at the bottom that lets us do that without leaving the email. I have a folder in the content library called MyBuy's Content. And right here I have a content area called MyBuy's Content Area. So I drag that to my email. That's all there is to it. And now we can preview the email here. I'm going to go to Send Preview because MyBuy's requires the concept of a recipient to know what to recommend. So we're going to give it a recipient to consider. We're going to pick a list, choose one of our subscribers, and say Generate Preview for that person. Here's our email, complete with products. And you can see there's 4 in this case. Medical books, but they would obviously be specific to the MyBuy's client that's using ExactTarget, so whatever your products are, they'd be here. And that's all there is to it. Drag and drop, it's good to go. But we're going to go back real quick to the email and take a look at how we can tweak this, because what if the standard display isn't what we want? Maybe we want 6 product instead of 4, and we want them vertical as opposed to horizontal, or there's a particular campaign code that we want to use. How would we do that? Well, let me scroll down here a little bit, and you can see that the MyBuy's content area says this area generates the MyBuy's product display area. Edit this area to change your display options. So I'm going to click Modify, and we just set the values on some settings here. What's your MyBuy's client domain, your client ID? Those 2 things wouldn't likely change, but you can say here how many products do you want. Do you want it horizontal or vertical? Let's go ahead and change that to vertical. I'll paste that there. And if it's horizontal, which it's not applicable for us anymore because we went to vertical, but you can even say how many per row you want. Put a campaign code in here if you'd like. Set what type of email this is. This is a MyBuy's setting. I chose other, but MyBuy's allows for these options. You can enter SKUs in here to give MyBuy's some direction on what it should consider. Here's a little tip for some of our more sophisticated ExactTarget users. You could fill this dynamically with some AMP script to go look up maybe in a web analytics table and get products people have recently purchased, searched for, or had in a cart and abandoned, that kind of thing, and build that dynamically. MyBuy's allows for pass-through variables if you'd like, and you can set that up here. But really all I'm doing is setting up a few simple parameters like how many product do you want, that kind of thing. And when you're done, it says this is the end of your setup. Please don't change anything below this line. You click Save. And an important note here is that when I saved this area, I'm only editing this instance of the product of the content area. My gold standard, my starting point is still intact in the content library, and I can drag it into as many emails as I want. I only messed with this one when I click Save, okay? So let's go back to Send Preview. We'll pick our subscriber again, and we'll see how this thing renders now. And Generate Preview. Here we go, and you can see the products are now vertical. So very easy to use MyBuy's products. You just drag a content area in there. You can tweak things a little bit if you want to change the display options, but other than that, just drag and drop. Okay, that's all there is to it. I'll show you real quick, just for the sake of completeness, a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes, and then we'll call it a day. Let me scroll down here. I'm going to click Modify. Here's what's happening. I choose my my layout here, horizontal and vertical, all my other parameters, and then down at the bottom, way down here at the bottom, it says go get a content area named either horizontal underscore MyBuy's or vertical underscore MyBuy's, which if we look at our content library again, you may have noticed this the first time around. Here's my MyBuy's content folder. Here are those options, horizontal and vertical. So really, this content area that we dragged into the email, all it's doing is letting you set some parameters, and then it's grabbing the appropriate display option. Now, I very well could have put those display options into one content area and streamlined this even further, or even put it into the same content area so there's only one to drag and drop. I broke it out just to make it very clear in case someone with some HTML skills, for example, wanted to go in and tweak the display a little bit. They wouldn't have to sift through a lot of script. They just say, oh, I want to change the horizontal, or oh, I want to change the vertical. It would be real easy to find. But how you set that up is up to you. At the end of the day, using it is just drag and drop. I hope that's helpful. I hope it's exciting to our MyBuys clients, and we will see you next time. Thanks.